Welcome, everyone. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Normally, we're in a studio. However, Accord's recent exciting announcement, I thought we should strike while the iron's hot and catch up with a recent guest of the show, Jeremy Duncombe. So stay tuned where we're going to be discussing Accord's exciting new product. Okay, so Jeremy, let's get straight into it. For those that may not be aware and maybe missed all the recent PR, which has been fantastic, can you just give us an overview of the product?
Yeah, I mean the name of the product is the 5K deposit mortgage, and that's basically what it does. It's what it says on the tin. We've just launched a mortgage out to the market for first time buyers who have a £5,000 deposit. So this is rather than saying it's a 95 or a 96 or a 99% mortgage, we've gone for really what is being told to us in our research. The most important thing is to find a deposit and be able to put it down. And this is across the country, across the whole of the UK, where people can actually, if they've got a £5,000 deposit, qualify to purchase a new home as a first time buyer. So yeah, I think it's a fairly simple concept, but it's landed really, really well.
Fantastic, fantastic. So big innovative step for Accord. So what's led to this kind of product and what's the thinking behind it?
So we did some research last year. It's called our Home Truths Report, and what we found in that is the two really quite stark figures that came out. One was that 78% of people felt that we were becoming and housing was becoming an elite privilege.
Okay.
So owning a home was becoming an elite privilege, and then 63% felt that the UK was becoming a nation of renters. But there was no less demand from first-time buyers to get on the housing ladder. They were just finding it really hard. And one of the main areas, one of the biggest challenges for first-time buyers is finding that deposit. And even a 5% deposit in a lot of the parts of the UK, again, our researchers said can take up to 7.5 years to save that deposit up. And what we find or what we feel with this product is that that can be brought down to probably between 2 and 2.5 years.
Wow.
So it's a massive difference for people in that period of sort of 4 or 5 years where they're saving up. House prices are moving up as well, generally away from them. But also, it's the stress of having to put off life events, having to put off milestone events, such as maybe having children or getting married, because you're not sure where you can put roots down, being concerned that your tenancy may come to an end, or that the landlord may sell that property. So there's a lot of stress in there as well for first time buyers, but finding a deposit was the biggest challenge that a lot of people had, hence the reason for the product.
Okay, fantastic. So I appreciate it's only literally just launched, but any indications and kind of uptake, reaction in the market?
Well, if the launch day is anything to go by, we had some incredible feedback. I mean, we've been seeing videos that going on. The TikTok videos being done by brokers. One had up to 1 million views. Another one
Wow.
had about 700,000 views. So we've been on TV. We've been in the press. Social media yesterday, particularly LinkedIn, felt like it was being taken over by Accord. So yeah, I mean, the initial response has been very positive. It's not just this is a product. We've seen some really nice stories as well from customers who now feel that they can use Easter to go and look for houses.
Okay.
Um, some really emotional stories about customers who are either in tears or really just so excited that having had to save up for so long, they're now in a position where they can go and look for houses over Easter.
It's just amazing, isn't it? Amazing to be able to see that. Um, so I want to kind of just dig a little bit deeper into the product for those that are watching it and may not be fully au fait with it. So, I mean, who qualifies, any niches, etc., that we should be aware of?
Yeah, so it is first time buyer only. One of the applicants has to be a first time buyer, and they can't have had a property before. So it's first time buyer product. It runs off our normal high loan to value scorecard. So generally, if you would qualify for our 95% product, you would qualify for this. But obviously, affordability and the credit score will be a key important mitigant for us to make sure that we're being responsible as a lender, and that the right people are qualifying for it. So it's normal affordability and a high loan to value credit score. As I say, one of the applicants has to be a first time buyer. and that deposit has to be £5,000.
Okay, okay. And in terms of property-wise, any restrictions around that, Jeremy?
So we won't lend on flats,
Okay,
and we won't lend on new build. So they're the two main restrictions for us: no flats and no new build properties. But apart from that, the properties that we would lend on would be the normal properties that we lend to as Accord.
okay, cool. And I'm not sure if you did mention it, but is there a limit price-wise?
Yeah, so it's
Purchase price?
500,000. So it's
Okay,
from 100,000 to 500,000. So at 500,000, it's a 1% deposit. But we expect most of the customers who qualify to be probably 97, 98%, somewhere in that region. But it does go right up to 99% if you're buying at £500,000.
okay. Fantastic. So you did mention their new build, and that it's again, it's a fantastic product, but we're not including new build. So for those that watch this that are very much new build centric, any particular reason? Do you think we may see that come in at some point?
And we support new build as much as we possibly can. We've been really out there as a new build lender over the years. We've got things that really do help first time buyers in the new build sector, like deposit unlock. So there's things that we do, but just from a risk perspective, when you look at that high loan to value market, there is a slightly higher risk metric, but for things like new build and flats. Therefore, on launch, certainly something we couldn't go out with. I'll never say never, but let's see how it goes first of all. But that's the reason behind it.
Okay, all right, no problem. Um, so I suppose just a few comments that we have seen around the negative equity piece. What would your response be to those comments?
Yeah, and it's a sensible question, as in terms of what we want to do as a responsible lender. We want to make sure we're protected, but we also want to make sure that the customer is protected. And nobody wants anybody to be in negative equity. So I think we've taken some quite prudent steps to try and mitigate that as much as we possibly can. So first of all, it's capital and interest. So the customer will be paying down their mortgage from day one. And secondly, it's a 5-year term. So it's a 5-year fixed rate product. So what you have over those first 5 years is the fact that the debt will be reducing and you're in a product that you can afford for the first 5 years. And at the end of that 5 years, you've got that stability on payment. We've been looking at forecasts for house price inflation, and a combination of a 5-year fixed and capital interest mitigates that risk. You can never say never, but we've done everything we can to make sure the customer is not put in that position.
Okay, brilliant. And the final thing for me is, so any brokers out there watching this, what would you say to them in regard to sort of placing the product, talking to their customers about the product?
Yeah, I mean, as I said yesterday, the way that this launched was really, really positive from the broker market. I think it's really getting the message out to customers that this option is there. It's not going to fix every problem in the housing market. That's a much bigger challenge for governments and regulators and all lenders to get involved with. But for a section of customers who have really struggled to find that 5 or 10% deposit to get on the housing ladder, but have tried hard, this is a product that potentially could help them. So I think that the first thing is make customers aware. Get out to them. We've seen some great stuff on social media with brokers getting out in front of their customers and making them aware that this product is available. For particular cohorts with people who've got CRM systems, you will see who's first-time buyers. You will see who's looking for a property, and something like a mailing out to those customers to make them aware of a product might just get those phones ringing a little bit more. But yeah, it's then comes down to normal affordability rules. It's a fairly simple product, and I think that's what people will buy into. It's not difficult for people to understand. It's a 5k deposit, and then passing the credit scores and making sure that the affordability is there. So hopefully that helps, and we're looking forward to seeing really good volume of business, so we can help people get on the housing ladder.
Brilliant. Well, Jeremy, thank you for taking the time to see me today. And I think it's just fantastic to see another lender coming into the market with more innovation. And I'm sure everyone watching this will absolutely agree. So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. And we will no doubt catch up with you soon in some further episodes. Hope everyone's enjoyed it, and we'll catch up soon. Thank you.